everyone, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to build these chickens, this pig right here, horses, and cows. Let's get to it. I'm gonna try to give you the correct measurements, but it kind of is just about eyeballing it and just seeing like what looks best. You are also going to be wanting to make sure the height is correct on them. So we obviously don't want a chicken to come up to my shoulders, my character's shoulders. That'd be too much. So you got to make sure the height is correct. Okay, first off, to make this easier on everybody, you're just going to get a transparent basic shape. You are going to be needing the transform tool and advanced placement for this. If you don't have that, then you literally cannot do this. So I definitely recommend investing in that. We're just going to make this plenty big. This is going to be our little workspace right here. Then you're going to want this standard round rod. And you're just going to place that down, 2 of them, the same size. And then what you're going to do is you're going to transform them up and kind of over that. And same with the other one. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to put them down a little bit into the ground because that's a little bit too much leg for them. Okay, and then we're just going to make them a little bit closer together. We don't want them to be too close, so you are going to have to go into the smaller grid for this. I feel like that looks pretty good. A little bit more in. All right, there we go. There's our legs. Then you're going to need this small rod, and you're going to take the rod and you're basically going to try to place it inside of this rod or very close to it, and then just try to place this as small as possible. Like, try not to make it super long, and then you're just gonna like transform it in the leg a little. It's okay if it sticks out too much. If you don't want too much like meat basically, then you can do that, but about that much is pretty good. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and we're making sure that all of these structurals and basic shapes are going to be on this transparent basic shape. If you do not have that, then this will not be copy and pasteable, and believe me, you're going to want to be able to copy and paste this. What I like to do is basically just almost put it through the leg, but not. And then what you're going to want to do is just make these beams smaller by just sizing them down completely. Okay, there is our legs. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to be coloring along the way. That way we don't have to recolor everything and get in all those nooks and crannies. So what we're going to do is get a color, and then you're going to use this small square mesh. It looks like a kind of meshy small square plaid, sorry, but it looks kind of like a mesh. You can use that one, or else you can use this brick color right here, which I kind of feel like looks more like chicken legs. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'm just gonna paint it linen. Then we're gonna get a sapphire, and we're gonna kind of make it look like an egg, if you know what I mean, like this sort of shape, a big egg. And then you're gonna place it on top of the leg, and you're gonna do that for both of them. You do have to transform them on because you can't place stuff on structurals like that. And to get closer to the ground, you can go down into the basement. That would help. You don't need the basement game pass for this to build it, but it's just gonna make it easier for you to like look at your project. Okay, there's that. It's about this size. You can tweak it if it's just too big or too small. And then we're gonna get another sapphire and just place that on top of one of the legs. And then, for instance, I just took this shape right here and I sized it out a little bit, kind of the length of the legs already. And then I sized it up because it was too small. So it's a lot of eyeballing. You're just kind of just looking at it and seeing how it would work. Okay, there's our base of our chicken, and we're gonna start coloring now. So you're gonna want the small flower texture, and then depending on what chicken you want, if you want a white chicken, a black chicken, a reddish chicken, brown chicken, even a blue chicken, you're gonna be doing that, but you're going to have a darker shade at the bottom and then a lighter shade at the top. We're gonna place this on top. We just duplicated this piece right here. Then we're going to transform it down and just see how that looks. And we're gonna kind of bring it forward, and I can already tell that's way too big, so we're gonna size it to about there, I think. So it's gonna look kind of like that, and then we're just gonna duplicate this again, and we're honestly just making it kind of smaller, but this time we're gonna split this in half. So we're gonna make it kind of smaller. It's gonna be kind of close to the shape of the leg piece. Okay, about that piece. And then we're just going to put that on the other side. Okay, there's the front of the chicken. Okay, now we're going to move to the back of the chicken. And we're just going to duplicate that piece and delete these little pieces up there. And then we're going to bring this piece kind of down. And we're going to make it smaller, thinner. This is just so it makes it look like the chicken's actually connected back here. And we're going to make it a little less long. There we go. That's good. And now we're going to do the feathers of the tail and just the tail in general. So you're going to make this a little smaller and thinner. Actually, basically the thinnest it can be and the flattest that it can be. And then you're gonna make it a little bit longer. And then you're gonna take this and you're gonna bring this down and out, kind of like that. Okay, that's the start of our tail feathers. We're gonna bring that up a little bit. We're gonna bring you this little tail feather down. Okay, and then we're just gonna start kind of angling this upward and kind of outward a little bit. Okay, and then we're just gonna keep on repeating that process. Pop it on top, bring it out a little bit, bring it down, and tilt it. Okay, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna bring that one inward and tilt it. Okay, there's the tail feathers right there. That looks really good. Now we're gonna move on to the head. This is where it gets a little bit tricky with the eyes and the beak. Just for your warning, we're gonna take a sapphire and we're just gonna size it to the size of a chicken head. Okay, so first we're gonna make the neck and then we'll make the head. There's our head, our neck, and then we're gonna bring another one and pop it on here and just kind of rotate it forward a little bit more. And then the last bit for these basic shapes is we're going to grab a basic shape, make it this sapphire, and we're going to make it as small as possible. Then you're just going to transform it down into this little crevice right here. That way, again, it just looks all connected. Okay, there's the base of our chicken. You should have something that looks like this, small round, and then I will show you a size comparison real quick. So there's the size right there. It is a bigger chicken, but I feel like it does look really good. So there's that. This is where the basement is gonna come in handy big time. So you're gonna grab a small structural and you're just gonna like place it down and you're gonna try to make it as small as possible with still being able to place it. And then you're actually gonna need 3 of these. We're gonna color these. So 2 of them are gonna be black, and then one of them is gonna be like a tannish material or tan color, and then this this mesh. Okay, and then you're just gonna transform this up to make it look like they have eyes. And to do this, you're gonna have to tilt this downward, kind of like that. And I'm now realizing, see, again, trial and error, you're gonna want to make the head a little bit more round. Guys, it's okay if it sticks out too much. It's okay. It's kind of how it has to be. There's one eye. We're gonna put the other eye in now. And with the second eye, you're gonna want to make sure it's level with the first eye. Okay, there are the eyes. Yeah, no, they look weird. We're fixing them. Okay, then you're gonna do the beak. You're gonna try to put that in the middle, and then you're gonna make it flat. It does look weird, okay? It does. But we haven't added the final parts, which are the dangly thing under the chin and then this thing on top. So I'm going to put the decal codes on screen right now, and you're going to need to place them on a transparent cube. Each are going to need their own. Then you're going to need a 2-sided square decal, the transparent one, and you're basically just going to make that as actually wait, you're actually kind of going to need it big because these images are very, very small. Okay, and then before that, we're going to color the chicken. So depending on what chicken color you went with, you're just gonna do a little bit of a lighter shade each time. We're gonna do this 3 times. So the first color is the base color, and then we're gonna do 2 more lighter colors. And the easiest way to do this is just take the color that you already have and then bring it up the color wheel. Okay, there's the colors for mine. It's just like a gradient up, and I feel like it really looks nice. If you're doing the hen, I'm doing the rooster right now, but if you want to do the hen, you're gonna want to kind of make it a little bit smaller, or just try to make it more compact than the rooster. And then for the colors there, to make it more realistic, you wouldn't do as bright colors for the hens, because the hens colors are normally not as vibrant as. If you guys have any issues with your decals, they won't let you upload them or anything like that, I can try to help you in the comments. So put it in the comments, tell me what it's not working, and tell me what you've done, and I can see if I can help you out. This is where it's going to get a little tricky. You're going to place your decal on both these decals. You're going to place it on the transparent cube, and then you're gonna grab it, and then it's literally, it's kind of ridiculous because how big it is. But then you're gonna basically transform it to the middle of the head, this part where it's like a little bit spiky, to the middle of the top of the head. So, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You could try to do it with basic shapes, and honestly I should probably try to do that. And if you want, you can try to do that with structurals, but I just find this to be easier. Okay, there's the top of it. And yes, guys, I'm sorry. The basic shape just has to be there. It's transparent though, so you know, it's fine. All right, then you're going to do the bottom one, and you're going to transform this piece, and you're just going to kind of make it look like it's on the bottom of the chicken's chin. Oh my gosh. And you're going to want to try your best to put it in the center of the head. Okay, there's our chicken. And then what you do is you take this cube right here, and you're just going to transform it down. And then there you go. You got a chicken. It just looks so good. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there it is. It looks very, very good. You can like adjust it if you want, but a lot of it is really just trusting the process. You never have to rebuild again. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is the cow. We are going to be using the legs of this for the horse also. It'll just be easier. And I would say by far the cow and the horse are actually the easiest ones to do. So, and they're also mostly made out of spheres. Same as the last one, just to make it easier, you're just gonna place everything on a transparent basic shape. There we go. Then you're gonna take your sphere, you're gonna flatten it and make it pretty small. And then you're just gonna size it outward just a little bit on the smallest grid. About that size, I would say. You don't even need to make it taller. Then you're gonna grab another one of those. Oops, just the sphere, and we're just going to place that down there, and then I'm just going to flatten this. Okay, and then we're just going to transform this upward on top of that, and then you're going to like size it up to about there, and we're just going to pull it out so that way it looks round on top and round on the sides. Not the smallest form, just a little bit bigger. Okay, then we're going to grab another sphere. We're going to make this one nice and flat and small, and then I'm going to grab this thing right here. Oh, of course it's going to come apart. Okay, the leg is going to need to be round enough to be able to put this sphere on there. So if it's not round enough, then you need to make it a little bigger. And then same with this ball. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. And then we're gonna make this shape right here, and we're gonna place this right on top of there. Okay. And then you're going to transform this down like that. Before we do that, we got to just make sure that it's the correct size. So I'm going to go for more of a circle shape and see if that looks right. We're going to transform it down there, about like that size, I would say. So you're going to want to put the leg kind of towards the back. We'll be rotating everything in a minute here, but for right now, we're going to do another one of these, but this one's going to be a little bigger on top. We're going to kind of make it round like this. So here's the shape that we went with, about that size. Okay. And then we're going to bring this down, and we're going to bring the shape all over down. Okay. Then what you're going to do, this looks pretty good. Then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of rotate this little piece kind of forward, just a little bit like that. Okay. And we're going to rotate the leg itself a little bit to the side. So there we go. There's that. That's our leg. You can color this right now if you want, depending on what cow you want to do. I'm building a cow that doesn't have like black and white spots. But if you want, you could do black and white spots. So I will show you how to do that without them and then with them. Just a little extra step. I think it would still work. But if you're just going for a brown cow, then just paint it brown. And then you're going to want to use this texture right here. It's stained uneven stripes. That will just kind of give it like the look of the cow fur, I guess. Then you're going to color your little thing. And I'm just going to color it linen. But I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Then we're going to need 4 of these. We're just going to do 4 of them. And yes, it does look a little tall right now. But these leg parts, like right here, these like thicker parts are going to be where the body starts. And then up here is basically going to be where it ends. So this is about how tall it's going to be. Okay, now for the body. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab a sphere. We're going to stretch it out about that size. And a lot of this is just trial and error. So, you know, just do what you think looks best and most similar to what I'm trying to create. All right, so I can tell that it already has like way too big of a belly down here. Like that's not very correct. So we're going to flatten this a little bit. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to duplicate this, pop it on there. And then I'm just going to kind of make this a little bit smaller. Not as big. Okay, I kind of sized it to about half of the length. And then we're just going to bring this over and down and kind of inward. We're going to be transforming these legs in a little bit more, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, and then we're going to do one of these at the top. The cow body is literally so easy, guys. It's so easy to do. Okay, there we go. Now, for like the butt of it, which is right here, you're going to want the actual, like this basic shape to be coming outward and not behind the leg. And then with this one, you're really gonna not want it to be poking out that much. Like about that much is pretty good. You can kind of see the difference in there. Okay, now we're just gonna transform the legs in just to make sure that everything is looking correct. So I'm transforming it inward and then a little bit, and that looks pretty good, I feel like. And we're just gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So inward, a little bit. You can like do an overhead view to just see if it looks correct, and if it does, then you can just place that down. And then we're gonna do that again on the other side, but they aren't, they're just gonna stay at the same place that they're at currently. They're not gonna have to go back or forward. They're just going inward. There we go. And just make sure, see how you know which way's the head and which way's the butt is the hoofs are faced. That's the head, okay? And then if they're faced the other way, then that would be the butt. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just have to explain that, or else you guys are gonna have hoofs that are facing this way, but your head's gonna be over here. That's not correct. Okay, we're getting another basic shape. We're starting the head now. And we're just gonna size this down. It's a little bit smaller than it's supposed to be, but that's okay because we're just gonna size it again once we have it placed where we want it. Okay, we're gonna extend the neck a little bit. Not that much. That looks pretty good. And I put the other end of this basic shape into the cow. So there you go. There's that. Okay, then we're gonna do the head, which I'm just gonna build the head separately. It'll just make everything a lot easier. If you want, you can build it on this basic shape, or if you don't want to, then you're gonna have to be placing everything on top of each other, which isn't hard. You just need to not be placing it anywhere else, or else it will not be movable. There's our basic shape right there. And then we're gonna place this on top. As I said, we're stacking everything on top of each other. We're gonna make this a little bit smaller. If you wanted to do like horns on this and kind of make like a bowl, you could, I'm sure. It really wouldn't be too hard to do. Or if you wanted like a male cow, then I guess you could do that too. Wait, wouldn't that be a bowl? Yeah, male cow is a bowl. Okay. So kind of like that. We're going to be adjusting it. So we're just going to bring this down again a little bit and then down. So there's that. Okay. It does not exactly look correct. And I think I know why. So we're going to take these off and we're going to make the head a little bit slimmer and we're going to place them back on. And then you're just going to transform them down. Okay. And then we're going to grab another one of these. We're going to pop it down and make it kind of thinner and flat. And then again, we're going to be changing this, but we're just going to transform it downward and then kind of, then as I can tell, we need to fill in this gap, obviously. So we're just gonna bring it up a little bit like that. And then we're just gonna bring it back. Then we're gonna do another one of these and we're going to size it up. And this is gonna be kind of like the snout, I guess, of it. Okay, and then the snout of it is gonna need to be going lower, kind of like that. So it's kind of not, you see how it's kind of like that at the bottom? Where there's like not much like gapping right there. Bring that down a little bit more. Kind of like that, okay? And then we're going to do that again. Just duplicate the same one. We're going to make this one smaller and this is going to go in front of the snout. Okay, it does look weird, okay? It does. We're going to color it and just make sure it looks correct. Then we're going to add some eye. Hold on, guys. I'm going to try something else because for some reason the head is just looking weird. Even though I've built this before, that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of trial and error with it. And that's why we're trying to build it once and never again. Okay, yeah, that already looks better, guys. Okay, we're going to remove one of these like balls that we had on top of the head. And you're just going to make one of them, transform them sideways, and then make it bigger. Oh, not that big. Yeah, that looks like so much better. Oh my gosh. I was wondering about that. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck is happening with this? Okay, there we go. That looks better. Make that up a little bit more. Okay, that looks so much better. Oh my god. I'm gonna transform this in a little bit more. And honestly, the snout kind of needs to be a little bigger. It needs to be a little bit more on the sides. We're gonna do that and then we're gonna pop this on there. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just gonna make this a little less round. Oh, okay, it's just gonna flatten it for me. Okay, and then I'm just gonna transform this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. All right, now we're gonna need to make some nostrils. Nostrils. some nose holes, okay? Those are, wait, we're gonna make this small. And we're gonna color it black. We're gonna need 4 of these because 2 of them are gonna be the holes for the nose, and then 1 of them's gonna be the eyes. Or 2 of them are gonna be eyes. We're not making a cyclops, okay? There's 1, and then we're gonna put another one on the other side. Okay, there's our nose. It's a little silly without any eyes, so we're gonna place these here. That's not where they're gonna go, but we're just gonna place them there. Okay, we're gonna bring them down and out and inward a little bit. Okay, down, out, inward. Okay. You're gonna want to make sure they look level. As you can tell, this one's way farther back than this one. And you're gonna just duplicate this. You're gonna pop it on top of the eyes. And then you're gonna size it outward just a little bit. Just like that, okay? I'm actually gonna duplicate the one that I just made. It looks like she has eyebrows now, but that's not what we're going for. Okay, it's not what we're going for. Okay, and then you're gonna honestly kind of want to make it look like it's an eyelid, if that makes sense. We're rotating it and then we're bringing it down. So it kind of looks like that. Okay. And then you're gonna color it the brown color. Wow, guys, look at her cow face. It looks so good. Okay. Then you're gonna do the ears, which I don't know how great the ears even turned out. I don't know if it actually looks like a cow ears, but it's fine because for some reason ears are very difficult for me to do. So we're fine. We're fine. You can also actually duplicate this for the horse too. This is the only way I know how to do ears. You're gonna grab a small round rod and you're gonna place it in there. In the middle, and then you're gonna make it nice and thin, just like that. You're gonna paint it black, or like pink would work too. This like linen-y color would work also. Like you can literally do whatever. It's just like the inner of an ear. And I'm just gonna transform the rod in a little bit. Okay, there we go. There's our ear. So then you're going to take it and duplicate it for the other side. I think that's about right. Okay. And then you're just gonna transform it down and paint it. Okay. Back down. Okay, it just looks a little weird to me. Head, okay. There's a problem, guys. The problem is the head is really big. We're just gonna grab the pieces that we made already and we're gonna size it down. See, guys, it's just a lot of trial and error. Okay, that looks better. Okay, guys, that looks way better. So basically what I did is I changed the size of the base of the head and made it thinner, and then I changed the placement of the ears into like the crevice in between this shape and then this shape, and it looks a lot better. Guys, see, lots of trial and error, which is fine. It turned out really good. So the last thing that we have to do is we have to create the udder. So you're gonna want a basic shape, a sphere. Actually, it really doesn't even matter how thick you make it because it can literally just go up into the cow, so it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just gonna see the size. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, then you're gonna grab another one and you're gonna make it as thin as that, and then we're gonna size it down. We're gonna put that on there 4 times. It should look something like this. Then you're just gonna transform it down. Okay, there it is. It does look weird, guys. It does. It looks like a pig body, but it's fine. So then you're gonna take it and you're gonna transform it all the way, kind of make it look like it's standing up, and then you're gonna pop it up. Okay, pop it up in there. So I'm sure you can tell it's too big, too thick. I don't like that. I don't know. That looks right. Okay, now we're gonna do the tail. So grab that structural from that ear. Actually, you know what? Just grab the whole ear. Okay. Place it on the back. Bring it down and outward. Kind of like that. And we're gonna size that down. Size it up and bring it down a little bit. Okay. Kind of like that. And then you just grab your structural and you're just gonna bring it. Okay. Then you're just gonna place that basically on the tail that you just made. And then you're gonna like rotate it, and we're just gonna do like 3 or 4 of those and try to make them different sizes. Okay, there's the tail, and if you don't feel like it's long enough, bring it down then. All right, there it is. It looks a little bit skinnier than the one that I have now, but it does look like a cow, I feel like. So there's that. And then what you're gonna do when you want to use it, you're just gonna grab it by the basic shape and bring it down. Just like that. And it's like standing on the grass. Super cool. We'll place it next to our chicken. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the horse now. We're just gonna steal one of these legs. This is gonna be our leg for our horse also. You're gonna grab your transparent cube, as we did before with the cow and the chicken. Now for the horse, I'm just gonna change the size of these top parts of the leg. So I kind of flattened it a little bit and then I made it a little bit longer. And the base of this is extremely similar. The only thing that's going to be kind of different is the tail and the head. So really, if you wanted, you could just duplicate the cow body if you wanted to do that. But I just kind of want to make this this one a little bit thinner, not as thick as the cow. Okay, we're just gonna see how that looks. Obviously, it's way too big. We'll get that in a second here. Okay, then we're gonna grab another sapphire, put that at the top. And if you're finding it a little bit difficult to build this and like follow along, you can also just look up a picture of a horse. That's what I did for these, and it worked out perfectly fine. So whatever works for you. Duplicate this one, and then we're gonna put this as the butt. But I'm just gonna make it a little bigger, a little thicker, a little longer. Okay, that's our horse body. Now we're just gonna move these legs inward. We're just kind of putting it in to where it's ever so slightly kind of going into this sapphire right here. Same with these back ones. I'm going to bring them forward a little bit, kind of to where it meets this sapphire at the base right here, if you can see that. And I'm just going to bring these down ever so slightly because I just find them to be a little bit too tall. So, okay, now we're going to go ahead and color it. Now to get it to have that kind of like furry look, I'm going to be using the cozy fabric texture, and then you can just color it whatever like color horse you want. Even if you want a unicorn, guys, you can make a unicorn. You can if you want. So if you wanted to do it white, you can. I think today we're gonna keep it nice and simple and just do a like brownish horse. There's our horse body looking very good. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and move to the neck, and then we'll build the head separately as we did with the cow. I just find it makes it so much easier to do it that way. So I'm just gonna transform this kind of there, and I can already tell the neck is like way too thick, so we're gonna change the size a little bit. It's a lot of trial and error, as I've said, about this whole entire thing, but that's just what it is. Okay, that neck looks kind of good. Okay. It looks a little creepy right now, but that's fine. We're gonna move on to the head now. So the head is basically 2 sapphires, and the second sapphire is going to be a little bit longer because that's going to be the nose of it. The first one is going to be round. I'm just going to check the size comparison on here. See, I was looking at it on the ground. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty perfect size. And I bring it up to here and it's way too big. So you just gotta, you gotta test it out. That definitely looks like a better size for a head. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, now we're going to do the second one. So we're just going to copy this, pop it on top. And then this one is going to be ever so slightly longer and ever so slightly smaller, a little tall. We're gonna transform that down. It's looking like a duck right now. Yeah. It kind of just looks like a little bit of a snout, kind of like how you'd make a dog head maybe. That's about how it looks right there. Okay, and then we're gonna grab another one, and honestly you can just duplicate the one that you just used, and we're gonna make this one kind of small. This is gonna be like a little kind of stripe-ish, I guess, in the horse. So it's like a cute little spotting, I guess, that it has on it. Okay, there's that. And then we're gonna move on to the eyes. Now, to make this easier on everybody, I'm just gonna duplicate the eyes that we made on the cow because that'll just make everything easier for everybody. Okay, now we're just gonna rotate them in place. Okay, we're just gonna move the other eye in place and just see what we're thinking. Okay, we're just gonna try that out. We'll fix some stuff in a minute here, but for now let's put our nose on. We're just gonna get 2 of these little balls, and then we're just gonna pop them down into the nose, just like that. And I'm just gonna color this just to get an idea of what we're looking at right now. That looks actually really good. A little bit of a thinner ear. That ear is just a little thick, so we're just gonna make it a little smaller, and we kind of want to make it a little taller. So there's that, and I'm just gonna grab the beam that we have from over here. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna color it. Now we're gonna put 2 of these on the head, a bit like a donkey, but it's fine. Donkeys and horses are extremely similar, so it's okay. Okay, that actually looks like a pretty good head right there. We're gonna grab the head and we're gonna put it on the neck. I mean, this looks really creepy when it's in its red form. Oh my gosh, when it's like not able to be placed, that's actually really creepy. Okay, we're just gonna have to place it there. Okay, and then we're just gonna put it on the horse. You can already tell that the neck does not even look like it's connected, so we're gonna fix that up. There we go, that looks a little better. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do the mouth of this horse. So this is literally so easy to do. Grab a sapphire, you're gonna flatten it. That looks about right. We're gonna color that as the horse, and then I'm just gonna pop this up here, and these are gonna be kind of like the lips of the horse, because I feel like horse lips are pretty like prominent. It's like their whole entire face basically. So that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna add one, and then you're gonna add one literally right on top of the last one that you just did. Bring that down, bring that down. Okay, and then we're gonna do one more, and we're gonna put those in the middle and kind of bring it back more. We don't really want it to be showing that much, and I'm actually gonna take it and transform it in a little bit because it actually doesn't even need to be that big. Okay, there we go. Then we're gonna paint this black. Wow, that horse has some good lips right there, really filled in. Yeah, I filmed this afterward because I realized that I forgot to do the lips, so in the next clip it won't show the lips, but just keep them. Okay, now we're gonna do the mane and the tail, which are probably one of the most crucial parts of this horse entirely. It just makes it look like a horse. So we're gonna take our sapphire and make it nice and small and as thin as possible, and then we're going to be placing that on the neck at an angle because this is going to be kind of like the base of the mane. That's going to be like kind of our place that we're going to be placing the mane, if that makes sense. And then we're also going to do a little bit on top, and we're just going to size this down. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to do these. So you're going to want to grab your little rod from your ear, and you're just going to want to place it down first, and then we're going to color it. So depending on whatever color you want, I think I'm going to try white. And then you're going to want to use the hay texture for this, or like a grass texture. If you find a better one, then you can use that. But I'm going to use this lush. Okay, I'm actually going to be using the mowed grass lines. That'll just kind of give it some more colors throughout it. And then I'm going to do white. We're just going to duplicate this little beam right here. Oh, it'll just make it easier on everybody, okay? And then you're going to want to make sure that you're on your smallest grid. That way you can place these. And you most likely will have to go back through and like move them around with the transform tool, sadly. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. And you're going to want to be making sure that these are close enough together, and also that they're varying in size. And you're just going to want to make sure that it's just kind of going on one side, basically. And we're just going to try to put these as close together. As you can tell, I'm literally not even caring where I'm placing them because they're literally just going to have to be retransformed because rods are so mean to me and they don't like me. Yeah. They make me replace them constantly. And then at the head part, where it gets to this part, you're going to kind of make it little. Obviously, we're going to have to retransform this here because we're going to make a little like hair, almost like, I guess, bangs for a horse, but not really. It's just going to be 3 like lines that are kind of going over the forehead of the horse. Okay, there we go. We're going to put another one right here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're just going to move these around just to make them look like they're in the correct spot. If you feel like some of them are kind of just like too many of them are like the same size, then delete some, make some longer ones. Kind of looking at this horse's butt and I feel like it looks weird. We're gonna bring the horse's butt in a little bit and bring it down, and we're gonna move these legs back. Trial and error, guys, trial and error. All part of trial and error. Okay, how's that? It's pretty good. The horse is just looking a little long there. If you feel like the beams are just too thick, then you can make them thinner if you want. I just don't want to do that because then that means that I'm going to have to be placing a lot more of these, and I do not want to do that. And then moving to our head pieces up here, we're just going to transform them kind of to the side, bring them down a little bit, and these are just going to be, as I said, are kind of bang pieces for our horse. There's the bang pieces, and then these little basic shapes that we did here before, you're just going to color those the same color as the beams, kind of make it blend in a little better. And then just add some wherever you want, honestly. Like if you feel like an area kind of is looking a little bold, then just add some more. But, you know, just keep reminding yourself as you do this, you don't want to place another rod. It's okay because you'll never have to rebuild this again. Beautiful. All right, there's our horse mane. I feel like it looks pretty good, pretty luscious, if I do say so myself. So now we're going to get a sapphire, and we're just gonna, oh, actually, wait, hold on. We're gonna get a cube. We're gonna get the transparent one, and we're going to make it nice and thin. This is kind of where it gets a little weird because you have to put this like on the butt to be able to make a tail. So yeah, then you're gonna grab your rods, and you're just going to be placing these around the cube right here. And again, you're going to be wanting to make sure that you have, or just kind of making like a waterfall for a tail. Okay, beautiful, looking great. We're going to take the cube itself and we're going to transform it in a little bit. Oh, there's our tail. It's pretty good, actually. If you wanted also, you could just take a sphere. Put that on the butt, and then you can just make it smaller. And you can transform this piece and kind of like put it over the butt a little bit. That way it looks like it's actually connected to the butt, and you can like transform it down. There we go. And then just color that the same color as the beams right here, and there's your horse. Oh yeah, this horse looks really cute. I wish I could tell you that I know how to make you be able to sit on it. I unfortunately do not know how to make you sit on it. But now you have a horse. The very last one that we're going to be doing is a pig, and yeah, so let's get to that. As we did before with all of them, you're going to be placing a transparent cube down, and then you're just gonna size it outward a little bit. There we go. First we're gonna grab a sphere. Same like the other ones, this one's just gonna be kind of smaller for the leg. It's gonna be a smaller leg, but it's gonna be a little chunky looking, because you know pigs, they're chunky. They're a little bit chunky. So you're gonna grab a sphere, pop that on top, bring it down, and we're gonna size that up a little bit. It's a little small for my liking, like that. And we're just gonna bring another one up there, and this one's gonna be kind of like the thicker one. Okay, and then we're gonna bring that down and kind of back a little bit, and we're gonna rotate. There's that, and we're just gonna like size this out a little bit because it's too thin, just too thin. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we're going to bring this down kind of the sphere, and we're just gonna kind of size it to the pig body. Okay, we're gonna start with that size right there, and now we're gonna duplicate the leg. Okay, the legs will be transformed in, but we're just trying to test this out a little bit. Okay, let's move these legs in. I'm just gonna move it down a little bit because it's a little tall, and I really don't want to have to transform that base down. Okay, there's that leg. I can already tell it looks okay. We're gonna do the other one. Actually, we're just gonna do the back legs because we're gonna add a kind of more to the front. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do the neck, and then we're gonna grab kind of a smaller version of this base one that we just did, and we're gonna put that one down, and we're gonna like transform it in. This is gonna be this small neck piece that we have for this little pig. And then for the legs, we're just gonna transform them down and kind of put them in between the neck and like the base of the body. This is kind of looking like a sheep right now. Okay, there we go. It really does look like a sheep right now. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna grab another sphere to extend this neck just a tad bit, just a little bit. Actually, wait, no. Actually, the pig neck does not need to be extended. I'm forgetting what a pig looks like. It does not have a big neck. Okay, the neck is practically its body. Like practically, there's like no neck. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do the head, which in my opinion is the hardest part about this pig. Like, you know what, it's fine. We're just gonna figure it out, okay? Figure it out, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so you're gonna grab your sphere. We're gonna size that to the pig head. Pig head doesn't need to be that big. So let's see how big that is. It's kind of good, but I'm gonna duplicate that, make it kind of flat and smaller. This is gonna be our nose of our pig. Super cute. We're gonna duplicate that again. We're gonna bring that down and out and basically putting it over it, but we're just gonna size this down. Wait, that actually kind of looks like, wait a minute. There's our pig snout, okay? It looks a little weird. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, now we're gonna grab our little, like, spheres that we have over here from our horse and pig, from our horse and cow, sorry. And we're just gonna transform these. Now we're going to do the, like, face part, like the mouth, I guess. And we're gonna take this, pop it down kind of underneath the chin, and I can already tell that's way too big, so we're gonna size that down like that. Okay, there's our mouth for our pig. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good mouth. Okay, now what we're gonna do is the eyes, which aren't actually that hard, I don't think, but we are gonna just duplicate the eyes from the horse and the cow, and I'm just gonna size down the eyebrow piece because it's a little big for the pig. A little big for the pig. Actually, it might not be too big. We'll try it. Okay, there's our eyebrow and our eye. I'm just gonna pop it over here. I'm gonna be honest, guys. This is kind of looking like a sheep. I don't know why it's looking like a sheep, but it sure is. Okay, there's the eyes. Again, it's just looking like a sheep, guys. I think we need to color it. Okay, obviously we gotta do like a pinky color because pigs are pink. Duh. So we're gonna do the same one we did as the cow, the like stained striped ones. Okay, now it's looking like a pig. Okay, we're better. This is better now. I'm just gonna keep on telling myself that. Okay, let's put our cone on. These are gonna be the ears. If you could figure out how to do better ears, then try, but it's hard. Okay, this pig I actually redid so many times It's kind of ridiculous, and I'm actually redoing it right now from the one that I actually have on my farm because I'm still not satisfied with it. So I hope this pig will redeem the other pigs. Pop the ears on. Okay, and then I'm just gonna color them pink. Wow, it actually kind of does look like a pig. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Did I actually build a pig? Did I actually do it? Did I actually build a good pig? I'm like so surprised. Let's just paint the rest pink. Don't get your hopes up yet. Oh, it actually looks like a pig. Oh my gosh. I actually did it, guys. I did it. I made it look like a pig. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of myself right now. Okay. Now we're gonna do the tail, which is extremely difficult. So obviously, as you know, pigtails are curled. Okay, they're little curly tails, and it's difficult to make curls in Bloxburg, as you sure know. So we're just going to be using structural, and we're just gonna be using the small round beam, and you're just gonna place it down on the back first. Okay, just do a couple, and then you're just going to work your way with these and kind of make them look like they're like curling. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And how I'm doing this is I'm literally just moving it around with the transform tool, hoping that it works. We're just gonna do that as an angle and just leave it at that, okay? And there's our pig, guys. There's our pig. Absolutely beautiful. Now we're just gonna add the hoofs. We're just gonna grab the nose piece right here, and we're gonna make this the hoof. Flatten it a little bit, make it a little smaller, and there we go. Paint it beige and pop it in there. Wow, look at our little hoof right there. Beautiful. Now we're gonna do this 4 more times, and there's our pig, guys. There is our pig. That actually looks like a really good pig. I mean, okay, compared to the last one that I did, I feel like this is a really good pig. The pig face is pretty good too. So there's your pig. Looks beautiful. And we're gonna pop that over here with our collection. Beautiful. Here's a bit of a closer look on our animals. We got our pig. We got our horse. Then we got our cow. Cow looks really good. Then we also have our chicken. So there we go. There's our animals. I hope that you guys enjoyed and were able to follow along. If you were and made even one of these and actually made it to the end of the video, which I know this video is gonna be extremely long because I'm talking through the whole time. But if you did, then thank you, and comment down below that you finished the video because that's hard. Okay, that must have been hard. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone, have a blessed day.